This video is brought to you by Skillshare. So, the Samsung Galaxy A23 versus the Samsung Galaxy A13. Which of these two smartphones should you buy? The only reason this review kind of makes sense is because these two devices share some similarities in a lot of ways. For example, the display, the cameras on both smartphones, the RAM and storage configuration, and depending on the variant you're going for, prices on both phones can be a little similar. So, which of these two smartphones should you buy? Let's find out. Hey guys, Fred's Tech Hub here, and in this video I'll be comparing the Samsung Galaxy A23 with the Samsung Galaxy A13. Let's see which is actually better among the two and also find out which is the right device for you. For pricing, the Samsung Galaxy A13 with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage cost about 105,000 naira, while the A23 with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage cost about 115,000 naira. As you can see, they are somewhat close when it comes to price. Now let's move on to the display. For the display, they look very similar with a very negligible difference, which is the fact that the A23 supports up to 90Hz faster refresh rate. Both displays are of the same size, supporting the same screen resolution, same brightness levels, and protected with the Corning Gorilla Glass 5. So for the display, while they are very similar in a lot of ways, I feel like the faster refresh rate on the A23 might seem like a worthy feature to some people. So in that case, let's give it to the Samsung Galaxy A23 just because of the faster refresh rate. Now when it comes to design and build quality, both smartphones are made entirely from plastic, and trust me, you can't go wrong with any of them. They don't feel cheap in any way, and I like the glossy feel on both phones. However, I kinda like the design on the A13 more. Maybe that's because it looks exactly like its flagship brother, that is the S22 Ultra. I don't know, but there's something in me that appreciates the A13 design more. I know design is quite subjective, but I like the rounded edges on both smartphones, which makes it easier to hold. Kindly let me know which one you like the most in the comment section below. Aside from the design of the A13, do you know what else I appreciate more? Skillshare. I've talked about Skillshare in the past, but if you're new to this channel, it is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators and people who want to learn something new, or should I say new skills. You can learn skills like photography, video editing, web development, film and video production. For example, I've been learning a lot from Thomas Deja on a topic how to create engaging videos for YouTube. He talked about concept in action, finding that golden moment and choosing the right music for your project. And I tell you guys, it has been amazing. Skillshare doesn't support ads, and this means zero distraction, which in return allow you to focus more on your creative journey. So if you're a creator or someone that is aspiring to become one, I encourage you to sign up using the link below. And because Skillshare is sponsoring these videos, the first 1,000 people to use the link in my description box or my code Fred's Tech Hub will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Just use the link below and also see my pinned comment. Now let's move on. So moving on to the external features of both smartphones, they are basically the same. Same side-mounted fingerprint scanner, same volume button placement, same ports, microphone, speaker placement, and the SIM card tray is placed on the same position on both smartphones. By the way, the SIM card tray on both phones offers room for dual nano SIM and a micro SD card. So how about the fingerprint scanner and the speakers on both phones? How do they sound, or how do they measure? Well, they are about the same. Sound is about the same, and the fingerprint scanner unlock at about the same speed. Now, for the cameras on both smartphones, both the A23 and the A13 comes with a 50MP main sensor, a 5MP ultra-wide sensor, a 2MP macro lens, and a 2MP depth sensor. While they are basically the same on both phones, they don't actually produce the same results. Could that be due to the differences in processing power? Well, it is quite obvious here because in some ways the A13 is doing just as fine as the A23. Images on the A13 look very similar to that of the A23, and in some ways dynamic range seems to be a little bit better on the A13 image. I really like how the A13 handles colors. They are well saturated and slightly closer to reality. Both actually take outstanding images even for a budget device. Images coming out of both smartphones are slightly better than phones from other brands that I've reviewed on this channel recently. Portrait images are great on both smartphones, and I can't say one is doing it better than the other. Night images are okay on both smartphones, and they are not the best that I've seen, but definitely something to represent a certain feature. Just to say, yeah, I can take night photos, and you get what I mean, right? Okay, let's move on. So the selfie camera on both smartphones takes good looking images and details are present on both. However, for some reason the A13 selfie image is doing it here for me. It has slightly more details than that of the A23. I also like the saturated colors it produces and the ever so slightly good dynamic range. I'm surprised why it is like this considering the fact that the A23 has a much better processing power. Maybe the A23 needs a software update that could really optimize the camera to look better, because as of now the A13 selfie camera is much better. So for the the camera, I'll have to give it to the A13. Take a look at the images and tell me what you think about it in the comment section below. What up guys? So this is the front facing camera on both smartphones, shooting in 1080p 30 frames per second. The footage actually looks great on both, but let's test out dynamic range. Let's go to the sunny part. When it comes to dynamic range, both actually look okay. They look great, very similar. They look very similar. But what do you guys think about it? It seems like I like the skin tone on the A13 here than the A23. Dynamic range is great on board. Is it the display that is confusing me here? Because it seems like the A13 is doing a little bit better when it comes to the selfie video here. What do you guys think? I really like the skin tone. I like the saturated skin tone on the A13 here than the A23. So this is a rare footage from both devices, the Samsung Galaxy A23 and the Samsung Galaxy A13. Both are shooting in 1080p 30 frames per second, and as you can see here, there's no video stabilization on both smartphones. But the footage somehow looks okay. It looks great on both phones. I like how both phones handle dynamic range. Colors looks nice on both phones too. But what do you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Which do you like the most? Is it the A23 or the A13? Now let's move on to the elephant in the room, which is the processor that is powering both smartphones. Because on paper, this is the only notable or noteworthy difference between the two devices. The Samsung Galaxy A23 is powered by a Snapdragon 680 CPU paired with 4 GB of RAM, while the Samsung Galaxy A13 is powered by an Exynos 850 CPU paired with the same 4 GB of RAM. From the benchmark scores alone, as you can see here, one can tell that the A23 is a superior device and it should perform way better, which is actually true. But apart from gaming, due to a decent amount of optimization from Samsung One UI, both are actually great at doing basic tasks. Hear me well, I said basic tasks. Generally, the A23 is slightly faster when navigating through the UI and multitasking, thanks to the 90Hz faster refresh rate. But the A13 isn't too far off. The A13 might show lagging numbers on benchmark tests, but in reality it is very okay, and it will be very okay for most people. If you're into mobile gaming, the A23 is a device for you. The A13 can play games as well, but you have to set most graphics settings to low if you want to enjoy the gameplay. So when it comes to performance, I have to give it to the A23, but just take note that the A13 isn't that too far off. Now moving on to battery, both smartphones are great. They can comfortably carry for a full day on a single charge, and when it's time to juice it up, both smartphones took almost equal duration to charge from 0 to 100%. It took about 2 hours and 15 minutes and sometimes less to charge from 0 to 100% on both smartphones. Now back to the question I asked initially, which of these two smartphones should you buy? Honestly, it comes down to what you really do on your smartphone. If you care so much about raw performance and gaming, then the A23 is just the right device for you. But if you want something that is a little bit more affordable with a complete package, the Samsung Galaxy A13 is a device you should get. The A13 has the best overall picture quality, and there's nothing much to miss if you choose the A13 over the A23 apart from its processing power. Honestly, both smartphones are similar in many ways, but for the sake of this comparison, the Samsung Galaxy A23 is the winner. It has the potential of getting better with the software updates. However, the A13 is cheaper and offers a lot of value for your money right now, and it is a device I would recommend you buy out of the two. So that is it guys, my honest opinion about both smartphones. Kindly share your thoughts with me down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the very next one.